You know that moment when you step outside, feel the heat creeping in, and realize, yep, today's gonna be one of those scorching summer days? Well, gents, don't sweat it, literally, because the right hat can take you from sweaty mess to effortlessly cool, all while cranking up your summer style. Now, we're not talking about just any hat. We're talking about the type of hat you'd actually wear every single day. The ones that make you feel like Leonardo DiCaprio in The Great Gatsby, Tommy Shelby planning his next move, or even Ryan Gosling strolling through Barbie Land in a pastel dream, but make it summer. So, stick around, because today we're breaking down the best summer hats that aren't just stylish, but practical enough to wear again and again. The Panama. So you got the Spanish exploring the New World about 1500. What are they taking note of? That these guys have stylish headwear. Now we know that it was around for a lot longer before that, but what the Spanish noted is these guys really know how to put a hat together. It was functional. It did a great job of keeping the sun off of their heads when they're out working there in the fields, and that's why I love a good Panama. But the key with a Panama is it's going to have a tight weave, and this is going to be a hat that is great, is functional, and is going to keep you cool in that hot sun. The Fedora. This one, very similar to the Panama, is actually made for hot weather. It's got a breathable material, but many of the fedoras that you guys know and that you've seen around are actually made from a heavier felt-like material. The Trilby. Now, very similar to the Fedora, we have the Trilby. The only difference is going to be the length of the actual brim. So the brim started getting even smaller. We're talking about an inch, maybe sometimes even 3/4 of an inch, maybe about an inch and a half at the most right here in the front. But it's a small difference in that brim that all of a sudden we got a very different looking hat. The pork pie. This one was actually made famous by a guy named Buster Keaton. He was one of the top silent film stars of the 1920s, but as soon as talkies showed up and his fame waned, you started actually to see the pork pie kind of go down. It was still a very popular hat, especially for musicians, but by the 1960s, the pork pie started to disappear. The boater. And similar to the pork pie, but made from a lightweight, breathable material, the boater specifically was made for hot weather. This was a hat that had the rounded look to it and really was a unique looking hat. The crown wasn't very high. It was a very lightweight hat, did a great job of keeping the sun off of your face, but it fell out of favor and really pretty much has disappeared. Now, what about the hat that won the West? No, I'm not talking about the cowboy hat. I'll get to that in a second. The Western hat. Now, where did the cowboy Western hat get its name? That actually is a big mystery, because when we look at what people were wearing out west, it was a motley crew. You had people wearing stuff that they had during the Civil War. You had people bringing in top hats. Yes, you saw top hats out on the western frontier, but it was really the Stetson Company that was making consistent headwear, and it's really become an iconic look that I think Hollywood has had a big hand in kind of shaping what we believe and what we assume people wore in that time period. The Akubra. Now, very similar to the Western hat, and this is the Australian version. I think it's a beautiful hat. I have one. I picked this up when I was in the Blue Mountains. Got that little opal right there. But again, what you're going to see here are the vents on the side. Very similar also in Western hats. But the Akubra is going to be worn more flat. The flat cap. I think this one's interesting. So in 1571, the English, they wanted to bolster the wool trade. And so they passed this law that every man had to wear a cap. Now, eventually the law was repealed, but here's the thing, is that guys really liked wearing these flat caps. What you're going to find with these flat caps is they actually do a great job, I think, of keeping the elements off of your head, hence why I wear them. They're not going to be as high of a crown, so when you're getting in and out of a vehicle, I think they actually function really well. And I think for, maybe a guy that's losing his hair or a guy that simply doesn't want to do anything with his hair, they look great. The Newsboy. It's got just a little bit of a puff over on the sides. I really like these hats, hence why I bought two of them in two different colors. And by the way, the Beret is a flat cap as well. I'm not going to recommend it for everyone, but if you've got the confidence, you think you can pull it off, then go for it. If you're just getting into headwear and you're considering your first hat, the brim hats, those require, I think, a bit more confidence, but a flat cap, if you're already used to wearing a baseball cap, this is a very easy addition to your wardrobe. Practice wearing it around your house, then all of a sudden you're wearing it out to run errands. You get a few compliments. You're like, yeah, I like the look of it. I feel confident wearing this hat. The military cadet style. This started off in 1943, I believe, and what we saw is the M1951 design. With this hat style, I remember being in the Marines, we called hats covers. The point being is that you had something that was functional. It kept the sun off of your head. It kept the sun out of your eyes. The Boonie. And while we're talking about military hats, I did want to mention the Boonie. I do think this is actually a functional piece because if you're out in the jungle, if you're out in the sun and you want to better protect your neck, I think a Boonie hat is fine. Now, if you're looking to level up your style, you really need to check out my free community over on School. I've set this community up so we've got free classes that you can make your way through step by step and learn the basic foundations of men's style. We actually have giveaways. In fact, over the last year, I've given away over $25,000 in gear that has accumulated here in my office, and I love sending it out to you guys free of charge. And I have to say, the men that are in this group are friggin' awesome. We've got a no a-hole policy. People treat each other with respect. And what we've managed to create in this community is a place where a man can come in and ask questions and get some solid advice. So gents, use the link in the description of today's video. Go check out our free communities on School. These are for you to become the man you know yourself to be. And by the way, gents, if you enjoy this video, you want more, make sure to go grab the free ebook. I'm going to link to it down in the description. Ultimate Guide to Men's Hats, yours free. With that being said, gents, don't stop here. Come on, I got another video for you right here. Check it out. Oh yeah, you're gonna love it. Boom, click there. Go check it out. Solid video. Come on. You're here. You're still, why are you still here? Click the video right there.